You're listening to the Money Mike syndicated radio show. We're going to keep you up to date and current in all sports. We'll make sure you're aware of everything in corporate and enterprise business. And most of all, we'll share with you how to make a little more money as we cover the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. All colleges, and you stay tuned. As the Money Mike syndicated radio podcast, how we doing? How you doing? We're coming to you. I got something. Today we're going to talk about the Deion Sanders top 5 haters. That's right. We're going to put a ranking on it because it's time as everyone shifts and changes the narrative. But nevertheless, Money Mike always chooses the underdog. So let's run through what we're going to talk about because we're going to talk about how we're going to rank them up. That's right. Deion Sanders, top 5 haters, one by one. You know, they said Deion Sanders is not a Power 5 football coach. Mm, mm, mm. And then you got my boys over there. We put them on a ranking, okay, because we got old Netflix. Coach JB, you talking about Smitty and Matt. Guys, I love the show. Man, y'all keep me rolling. And then you got to go up there. You got Jason Whitlock and Steve Kemp. Man, oh man. You talked about some haters that can get it wrong. And then at the top, man, we going to rock and roll today. It's a good day. And then you got old Paul Feinbaum been over there in the SEC football. That's right. This is the Money Mike syndicated radio podcast. Today's my lucky day. Deion Sanders, top 5 haters. Let's see what's going on with this, folks, because this one here kind of puzzles me a little bit when you get to the top 5 haters. Let's talk about it. You know, these guys came in, and I always, with Money Mike syndicated radio podcast, first thing we'll tell you, it's my opinion. But if it turns to truth, then I've given you the facts long before the facts have even been discussed. So here's the deal with Deion Sanders. As he started out, Deion Sanders took the Colorado job. Now, they felt that Deion Sanders, one, wasn't qualified. Two, didn't have any coaching ability. Three, didn't know how to run a football team. And they felt that Deion Sanders was only doing this for the sake of his sons. Now, that kind of struck me because with Deion Sanders, I've been watching Deion for years. Now, Deion goes back because we had to call Deion every once in a while, folks. I'll tell you something about this. Every once in a while, somebody's got a call or God's going to put it on his heart of a purpose for Deion. Okay. And it's been going on for years for me. And when I saw Deion get drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, okay, walk in and play for the Atlanta Braves, no practice to play Major League Baseball. I saw Deion on the hoop court, dunking, slamming, speed, unmatchable. 40 speed was never timed. So we're talking about a supernatural individual, similar to a relic that he's been in this earth before. He's just coming back for a second tour of duty. And he's always said, do we believe? Well, guess what? The haters have never believed. And for the life of me, I don't know why the haters have never believed, because Deion has done this with the San Francisco 49ers. We called him up to shut down Michael Irvin. Okay, Jerry Jones wasn't having it, so he went ahead and took him away from us and won some Super Bowls, of course, with Charles Haley. But I always got to believe that any man that's in the NFL Hall of Fame can coach. It's almost impossible because every player that plays in the National Football League today has to have a master's degree. In college, Colorado, you're going to get a BA, a BS degree. Okay, that's where you're at. That may get you an assistant coaching job, but when you got to play the game, now you got to take it up to a master's degree because the speed of light is happening on the field. And Deion, as I watched him, did things on the football field at the speed of light, on the baseball field at the speed of light. But he also carried a characteristic. You can call it cocky. You can call it narcissistic. You can call it many things, but he has one goal in life, and that's being the best. He has one goal for his children. That's being the best. So when you say he can't coach this game, and let's get into it, because here's the deal that gets me is when I see a man all his entire life, since those boys were young babies, take them and advise them, teach him the game of football. He visited Snoop Dogg, had a conversation. Snoop Dogg told him, "Look, man, you got a son. I don't know if he's a football player because I pay engineers a lot of money to do what he can do now." So you have to look at, you got Uncle Luke over there in Florida. That's another Deion. Snoop's another Deion. These guys don't coach for the money. They're not there for the money, folks. You got a lot of coaches take jobs for the money. But Paul Feinbaum, man, oh man, let me tell you about Paul Feinbaum. Paul, I got to tell you something, Paul. You've been over in that SEC, and I admire Paul. Okay, the reason I admire Paul, because Paul can say I got it wrong. Okay, he got it wrong. But doesn't mean you're not a hater. Doesn't mean you're not going to fall in the ranking just because you admit it. But Paul Feinbaum said Deion Sanders wasn't a coach. I think he was sniffing the Nick Saban glue. That's right, the Nick Saban glue. Because, folks, when you're in the SEC and you got a Nick Saban, this was what goes on with the media. I can't believe the national media could get it wrong. And we're not talking about one, folks. I could continue this for the next 3 months. All the people who said Deion couldn't coach. But Deion and Paul Feinbaum, man, Paul, you got to do better, Paul. You have to do better. There's no doubt about it. Now, here's the next two haters, right? So you want to talk about Jason Whitlock. Now, all of these guys I'm talking about, first of all, let me preference it because I'm the little guy. But when you come on here and you give me the like and subscribe, you hit me with the like and subscribe, here's what it does. It allows my voice to keep getting bigger, right? So at the end of the day, we're closing some traction, but I've got more ammunition for my gun, and I can show you the tapes that what these guys are saying on the interview when they're Deion haters. I mean, Deion, to me, and folks, I just finished the WNBA season with Caitlin Clark. You want to talk about haters? You got these underdogs who are in the league, professional sports, and they got a lot of people who hate them, not because of anything they've done. They don't even know Deion. They never even had a cup of coffee with Deion, but because someone else said it in the national media. Now, of course, I know, okay, because again, I'm a part of the media, right? So if I go in there, cover a game, or I give you the information, folks, it comes from me. I came from print media. So now the digital content media is a little different. There's a lot of rumors, so you can't jump and fly on everything. But these folks started a collective network chain that ended up with CBS Sports bringing in a lead hater. Now, when you get a reporter that's going to report some things, like I said, the players are strapped and you calling it guns in locker rooms, man, those guys are just haters. And you know, the thing about it is, when you get a man like Deion Sanders, let me tell you what I knew it was over. I'll tell you what I knew it was over for everybody. When Deion Sanders moved his mom in, and I've got some links in that description so you can go back and look at it. When he moved his mom to Colorado, I said, that's the end of the recruit. Nobody's going to out-recruit Deion's mother. That's impossible, okay? That's impossible. Once she gets in there and tells you this where it is, and she has speed dial on compliance, I'm telling you, you have Deion Sanders' mother can walk around Colorado campus and everybody is open arms, okay? Because at the end of the day, Deion's her baby. That's right. Deion's a mama's boy. That's her baby, right? And ain't nobody going to mess with my baby. And if you send your baby to Colorado, I'll guarantee you that your baby will be taken care of. So here's Deion. You don't like him because you can't coach. But is the true reason you don't like Deion is because you can't get the NIL deal that he gets? You know, as a football player, and I played for Mike Bellotti at Chico State. Finished 10th in the nation. Man, we had a football team, right? One of the best, I think, ever Chico State football ever had in the Far West Conference. And here's the deal. You can walk in that meeting room, and Deion Sanders could say, who in this room doesn't have an NIL deal? Okay, if you don't have an NIL deal, raise your hand. And then when you raise your hand, this is a fictitious name, but I'm throwing out. Go over there and see Coach Cooper. Okay, so we get you taken care of. That's the challenge that everybody has because Deion does it top to bottom, right? So he's doing it top to bottom. So Jason Whitlock is a very intelligent man. He's got a strategy. I don't really get on him about his strategy. His strategy is to stop going after the top athletes out there in the sports world. You say something negative, creates controversy. So Jason Whitlock, man, I took it back to the field Do you work in the field or do you work in the house? Right? Because Whitlock, man, him and Steve Kim, man, and Steve Kim said something. Steve, you said it. I kind of was shocked, but that's Steve Kim. I don't know if he meant it, but, really what Steve Kim said was you people. He said, you people. That's what Steve did. And he backed it up by saying, I'm going to tell you, I said it, you people. What was he talking about? Black people, right? Black people can't do this. Black people can't do that. I get it, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You got to get it right. And when you're wrong, FS1, national media, take a look at these clips, folks, because I'm going to just clip them in. Everybody's wrong about Deion Sanders. Now you ask yourself, here you worked all your life. You've done it. You're in it. You have an opportunity to do what's right. And you guess. It's nothing but a swag, folks. I can't say it on the air because it's inappropriate, but it's called a scientific wild blank guess. That's what they're doing, right? So you can go to AI and AI and say who win the football game. But at the end of the day, you got to play the game. All right. And I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. You got Dalen Edwards coming in. You got Kansas. Okay, the line shrinking because I think they're going into a buzzsaw, Kansas State. But Dalen Edwards and all the players have left. They made a big issue. The haters came out, man. When you get raided in the inner city or you live in some places, they got roaches, right? Everyone does. Nobody wants roaches. When you turn the lights on, boom, they all scramble, right? Because they're afraid. Well, Deion went out there and all the roaches came out. Now, I'm not calling them roaches. Just a figure of speech. But they came out. Here's what was so funny. Man, they latched on one by one like honeybees getting ready to get the bee to the queen, right? But now they got to change the narrative, right? Now they got to do some things. And Mel Kiper came out and said, okay, Shedeur is going to be the number one pick. These guys almost had a heart attack. That's how deep. And now it goes from Deion, it goes to his son. And folks, I saw when Deion walked all the players out. Let me tell you something. And I'll tell you just the way it is. Deion Sanders walked all those players, put them in the border when he first got there because they couldn't beat Chico State. That's right. We couldn't beat Chico State. Now, our goal was Chico State. We were Division II, but, man, we beat the D1. So it didn't matter what level you were at. We just had a good quarterback. We had a great tight end, got drafted by the Houston Rollers. I mean, we just had pro players out there, right? So when you get all these pro players, and now you got Warren Sapp's doing the training, Warren Sapp, man, I'm going to tell you, them dogs is hunting. I remember Big 99 being at the Oakland Coliseum, covering him in the press room and seeing how Big Warren come out. I'll tell you, Big Warren is on cruise control, okay, until the game starts. Now, when the game starts down in Oakland, and I understand he ran for Tampa Bay, but I watched him for real in Oakland. Man, number 99 was ferocious, okay? You could send doubles, try to come after the legs. He was chopping wood out there. And he's got these Colorado boys chopping wood. Now, Deion, on the other hand, he's got the DBs chopping wood. And I'm telling you, these DBs are laying licks because if the defensive linemen don't allow the offensive linemen to get to that linebacker pad level, and, man, those DBs are coming in cleaning up, I'd say Colorado duck. Dalen Edwards duck. Because these guys is coming after you like dogs, Dalen Edwards. You know it. And Dalen Edwards is a dog, but you got Cormani McClain. Here's the deal that it gets me. Cormani McClain, right? This goes back to the list of haters, right? And you got all these guys who are trying to be, Deion's trying to take them from boys to men, but they still want to be boys. They're complaining about a situation of how a football team is ran. Do you know you never do that, mothers? I'm going to tell you now, never have your son get in the football program and complain about the coach. Because the head coach is not his responsibility. He's brought you there, given you the opportunity. Now it's your job to do what? Get with the assistant coach and do your job. Everybody went out, and I'm going to give you the results, folks. I'm going to give you the results of individuals that have left Colorado. Where are they now, and what are they doing? I'm sure I'm going to find one or two that are just excelling because you left Colorado. Pat Sherman, okay? Hall of Famer, Warren Sapp, okay, other coaches that are there, top flight coaches, top flight media. You gave up the world because somebody convinced you the grass is greener. Man, the grass is growing as green as it's ever been in Colorado. The athletic director is smiling and dancing, entertaining the boosters. This is the way a pro football Power Five program supposed to be ran, right? Because what is Power Five? Power Five football is the G League for the NFL. Deion has got a professional NFL. They call it the league, right? It's the league. So now you're dealing with the highest brand, the highest shield in American football. You have to be the best of the best. So, folks, when I come in front of you here, I'm being the best of the best. I can give it to you as straight as an arrow and tell you it's narrative change time because Colorado's going to beat Kansas State. Now all these guys are going to have to figure out how to spin it around and tell us how great Deion Sanders is because they got it wrong. I don't know how national media can get it unless you're just doing it off of AI, which is kind of the challenge, you know. But at the end of the day, Deion Sanders has some haters. Deion Sanders knows that he's up against the wall. Deion Sanders is coaching with an amputated toe, but Deion Sanders is a survivor. He's a survivor. Now, what do you mean by survivor, man? Hey, let's go to Jackson State. Let's go on down there to Jackson State and let's go get it in at Jackson State, right? So Shedeur Sanders couldn't play, but out the gate you beat Florida State, right? You get a D1 powerhouse, then you just bump them off, right? That's D1 football. But he goes in there and wins the SWAC championship, but he's told he's not SWAC. I mean, he did so many things over there that is truly amazing. And the business model and blueprint works, right? Because it travels. He's doing commercials. So now you go up to Colorado, and what does Deion say? I mean, he's like Bo Jackson, right? He does everything. You want me to do 5 commercials for this week? I'll do 5 commercials. You want me to be on the practice field all week? I'll be on the practice field. But he's doing multiple things at the University of Colorado. The top 5 haters, man, oh man, you got them lined up. You know, you got Paul Feinbaum. I mean, nobody else can get ahead of Paul Feinbaum, right? Because you got to look at this as Dalen Edwards returns to Colorado. But you got to look at this and say, Paul, okay, you're going to hit the list. Next, you're going to have Jason Whitlock. Next, you're going to have Smitty. Next, you're going to have Stephen A. Smith that goes over there and always pretends, yeah, I love Deion. Oh, Shedeur Sanders needs to do this, needs to get his hand in the playbook. See, that's called creating a narrative for loss. Okay, Steve Kim, you people, man, sometimes, Steve Kim, I got to look at you and say, you people, because you got it wrong with Deion Sanders. It's ridiculous, right? You're supposed to be the expert, but the expert is running out of thought process. And then you got to look in there, and when you get all these guys who are lining up, so let's look at this, right? You got to look at them correctly. You got Paul Feinbaum's lining up. Okay, you got Jason Whitlock and Steve Kim lining up. You got Netflix, Coach JB, and I'm going to wrap up with Coach JB. And I'll say this. I don't know what happened to Coach D. I love Coach B. In fact, I got away from football, and some of the stuff is so comical. I just didn't watch the show football, but Coach JB has lost his ability to coach. And I don't mean this literally. It's just that he is so hard of an analyst on people that you could be the MVP of the National Football League, and Coach JB is going to say you're garbage, right? So, I mean, everybody's garbage, and I'm just like, Coach JB, man, I watch you on Netflix. You're my guy, man. Coach JB can get it in. You want to talk about some sound bites? Man, if Netflix release all of Coach JB sound bites, I'm telling you, man, he can get it in. But ever since he got on there and he's doing the show, you know, and he's making good steaks and he's doing everything, and I love the show, right? I mean, some of the women's stuff I can't roll with, so I have to kind of go, okay, that ain't good. But I love the show, right? You got Big Smitty in there. I mean, he's been in NFL. He's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about, JB. This is ridiculous, right? You're telling the program. Because Max from Colorado. And then you got the neutralizer there, Smitty. Man, I love you, Smitty. Let me tell you why I love Smitty, because Smitty will get in trouble for not even saying something. And then everybody's on Smitty because of Smitty's personality. I mean, it's meekness, but don't confuse it for weakness, right? But with Smitty, what happens is Smitty will jump in there and say, how are you guys yelling at me when I didn't even say anything, right? Because the tension gets so hot. But You're listening to the Money Mike syndicated radio show. We're going to keep you up to date and current in all sports. We'll make sure you're aware of everything in corporate and enterprise business. And most of all, we'll share with you how to make a little more money as we cover the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. All colleges, and you stay tuned. You got to rank these haters, and you got to put them where they are because haters are always going to be haters. And folks, we love it. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We are powered up by Fanatics. That is the Deion Sanders top 5 haters. Let's go back through it because you got Paul Feinbaum, you got Jason Whitlock, you got Netflix Coach JB, you got Steve Kim, okay, that are outstanding. You got Bill Jones, formerly ESPN. I can go on and on and on. You got FS1 Sports. There's so many people that just got it wrong. All things are possible to those who believe. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast.